Ja, ein herzliches Willkommen zum Kanal Inspirierendes aus Theologie und Kirche. Heute geht es um die englische Kirche in Zermatt, die St. Peter's Church. Sie feiert nämlich ihr 150-jähriges Jubiläum. Und ich habe dazu einen hochinteressanten Gesprächspartner gewinnen können. Es ist Reverend Jim Perryman.
Thank you. Lovely to see you.
Wir werden dieses Gespräch in englischer Sprache führen. Jim, thank you for taking the time to talk to me.
You're very welcome.
Thank you very much. First of all, Jim, would you mind telling me a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm the vicar of a village church in England, part-time, and I work part-time for the Intercontinental Church Society, who own and run, maintain the church here in Zermatt and support other churches around the world. I'm married with 2 grown-up children and 2 young grandchildren. So,
how did the English church in Zermatt come into being?
well, back in the 1860s, when we were getting a lot of British climbers coming to discover the peaks around Zermatt, and many of them to try and be the first people up those peaks. When they came, as was fairly traditional in those days, they brought with them their worship. They would bring with them their ministers to pray with them on Sundays and lead morning prayers. And so the society began to organise people to be here, to lead worship Sunday by Sunday, to be with the people. And after a few years, the numbers were getting so great that the decision was that we needed to build an English church. And so that was being planned at the same time that the first ascent of the Matterhorn took place. But then when things went badly wrong on the way down from that, the Queen didn't think that she liked her subjects killing themselves on mountains, and so there was a bit of a delay in the planning of the church, but only for a few years. And so that's how we came to be here, and many other places in Switzerland. So the church was begun in 1869, built the whole building was done in 1 year, and it opened.
Indeed, in 1 year.
1 year from foundation to completion, and it opened on St. Peter's Day in 1870 for its first service, but was dedicated the following year on this anniversary.
Very interesting. And what is the situation of the English church in Zermatt today?
Well, it's not always easy here. Obviously, these last year and a half has been particularly hard, and it's been the first time the church has been closed since, I believe, the Second World War. Normally we are open for the summer and winter seasons with chaplains who come out as volunteers for 2 or 3 weeks at a time through those seasons to share the love of Jesus with the people here. We're here for residents, for resort workers, and for tourists. So we don't have a regular congregation other than perhaps 2 or 3 people. But our congregation will vary from week to week, depending on who happens to be here at that time. And oddly enough, maybe not oddly, we can get larger congregations when the weather is bad.
Indeed.
In England it works the other way round, but here if the weather is bad, people come to church rather than go out walking or skiing.
And so you wish bad weather?
Bad weather on a Sunday morning is always good.
And how do you see the future of the English church in Zermatt?
Well, over the years, it has become a much more international congregation, because you have far fewer people coming actually from England or from Britain, but there are English speakers from all over the world who find their way here, and many people, English may not be their first language, but they understand it. And so I can see that actually developing further, because it is very hard for the British to come here now. But we are here, and our congregation comes from all over the world. There are many English-speaking residents in Zermatt, and we hope that we will make better contact with them in these coming years. If there's one thing that the pandemic has really shown, it's the value of meeting over the internet. And also the social media has opened things up, so we are able to communicate better with people, and we're able to offer to be there for people even when we're not physically here. And I think the church here in Zermatt will become much more hybrid in that respect. We will still hopefully keep our people coming out here through summer and winter, but I hope too that we'll be able to make far greater sense of friendship and fellowship with those who are resident and serve them better in the years to come. That's my real prayer, that we can be much more for the people who live here permanently, who perhaps have been neglected over the years.
Jim, thank you very much for this interview.
You're very welcome.
Thank you very much for your time, and God's blessing for the future for you and the St. Peter's Church in Zermatt.
Thank you, Tillmann, and for you and your community too. We really do value the partnership and pray for God's blessing upon you.
Thank you.
you.